Well, welcome to the San Diego Argonauts Sail Point races for the month of July. We're going to see some ODOM racing here. We're going to have 3 races in our sail points. We have 13 ODOMs that are out on the water. And our sail points is a monthly race that we have, and then we add up the points throughout the year and come up with the fleet champion at the end of that year. The wind today is about 6 to 8 knots. It's out of the west, which means it's coming from the right-hand side of the screen. And that line is a fair line for the westerly wind. But we do have some good shifts coming from the southwest, which would favor being at the far end of the start line. And we have a few shifts coming from the northwest. So my thought is to be about a third of the way down the start line at the start. I want to be able to take advantage of the port tack lift if that comes in, but I don't want to have a lot of boats between myself on the shore and my boat. I want to be able to see the telltales, and I want to be able to see what my boat's doing, so I don't want to get myself too far down that line. By the way, I'm wearing a miniature camera that's mounted on my hat, so wherever my head is turned is the picture that you are able to see. Well, I think we're about 15 seconds away from the start here, and we're maneuvering for the start. Again, I'm the boat with the red stripe coming into the foreground, red stripe on the jib. I've just jibed over onto starboard. I have some way on, but you can see I'm having trouble laying the line because that port tack shift has come in. There's the bell going off.
901 over early, 901 over early.
I was in some bad air moving out there, but 901 was over early. He's gone back, and now I do have clear air. And with that port tack lift, I'm pretty much headed straight up the pond. Not quite, but it's a good lift. I have good air, and I'm trying to just get the boat moving and then try to head up. You can see the puffs coming in, boat's leaning over. I'll pull the sails in. I've found that I'm constantly adjusting the sails on the ODOM. I'm a relatively new sailor. I've only been sailing it a few months, but I have found you cannot park those sails and be and keep that boat moving and be competitive. So I got my eyes glued on those telltales.
Come on, I
As you
feel
can
the air.
see, I'm getting into a little bit of shallow water there. I'm concerned about that because the ODOM keel, of course, is very deep. So I'm going to try to pretty much just tack up the pond and sail on the lifts. There we go. That lift has come back in again on port tack. Got good air. I'm trying to point up without pinching the boat, driving it full. Not a lot of wind, so I'm trying to keep those sails open just a touch. I've got my eyes glued on the telltales. I'm looking at the water, trying to figure out which way that wind's coming from.
That's fine.
It's a little fluky. It's up and down a little bit. It's shifting in direction. And I'm trying to just work to the left a little bit, work out toward the center of the pond, and again sail on the lifts. There's a nice lift now on port. Got some good air. The boat's moving fairly well. Getting up close to the ley line here, and I need to decide when it's time to go. So I've wound up in a pretty good position here at the weather mark. My objective was to get a good start with clean air. I got lucky because 901 was over early. That was a boat that was giving me some bad air. And also my objective was to sail on the lifts as much as possible to get to weather mark. I've met that goal, and so we're in pretty good shape. So we're going to break off now, and we're going to go take a look at maneuvering in the start for race number 2. Okay, well here we are in race number 2. We're about 15 seconds away from the start. The boats are all maneuvering to get in a good position.
8, 7.
It's about 5 seconds right now till the start.
3, 2, 1.
It's all going off. People are staying on starboard fairly well. A few are moving over onto port. I take that we're staying on starboard. There we go. And now a couple of the boats have moved over onto port. Again, I'm the boat with the red stripe on the jib. I've got some nice clean air. The lifts come in pretty well. There's a good puff, laying the boat over just a little bit. I've got the boat up to speed. I've got the sails pulled in all the way at this point. Just trying to sail the boat fast.
Let's see if I can not sail into a hole this time.
Got my eyes glued on the telltales on the jib. I'm in pretty good shape. My objective, having now gotten a good start, is sail on the lifts. So as long as this port tack lift is holding in, I'm going to try to right it. One of the issues is that I'm going to get near the shore here, and the keel's pretty deep on the ODOM, so I'm going to have to tack out here pretty soon. There's the tack. Oh, I tacked into some good air. It looked like that starboard tack lift isn't a strong lift, but it's good air. So that's okay.
Uh-oh. I heard that.
That wind's got nice and strong. I'm getting lifted even more on starboard tack now. I'm lucky I'm on the right-hand side of the course because that's where the lift's coming in. Made some significant gains on the boats behind us. Wind's gotten light, boat standing up now. I was able to cross that starboard tacker on port.
Yep, right in the corner.
And now I'm tacking around the mark. Again, the wind's very light. Just trying to edge my way around. So I got pretty lucky. I wound up on the right side of the shifts. I did get a clean start. That again was my objective. So again, I've wound up in pretty good position, and we're not going to follow the rest of the race. My belief is if you can get a good start, get clear air, sail on the lifts, you're going to be in good shape at the weather mark, and that's my objective for the races. If you do that, I think you wind up finishing pretty well in the races. So we'll break off now, and we're going to go over and look at race number 3 that's just going to be starting shortly. Okay, here's race number 3. Be starting in about 15 seconds. Boats are maneuvering around. The wind is still generally out of the west, but some good port tack shifts. That is the wind shifting to the southwest. And again, I'm the boat with the red stripe on the jib, kind of toward the near end. I'm right on the line at the start. All the boats are moving off on starboard. Looks like the wind is pretty much out of the west at this point. The last couple of races, that wind has wanted to shift out of the southwest, so I'm trying to get to the left of the pond, the far side of the pond, wait for that shift to come in, and then hopefully be able to be on a nice lift on port tack headed to the weather mark. We'll see how this turns out, but that's my thought. Boats are spread out across the pond fairly well. We can see the boats now on the near part of the screen, the lower part of the screen, the right-hand side. That shift has come in. Those boats are on a nice port tack lift. They've got good speed, so I think the air is a little bit better down there. I'm kind of in the middle. Again, the boat with the red stripe on the jib. And I'm going to be threading my way through those folks. I'm trying to sail on the lifts. I think that port tack lift is the lift that's in right now. So I want to try to sail on that and right it as much as I can. I'm going to get to some shore, shallow area here at some point. Well, there we go. I got a header. I tacked onto starboard, and now I'm almost headed straight up the pond on starboard. I've got nice wind. Oop, there it is. The wind went away. Oh, I tacked. That was it. Okay. I think I'm trying to stay between, I think that's 82, stay between the competition and the next mark, one of my mantras. My boat's moving pretty well. 82 is bearing off a little bit. I'm not sure if he just didn't have that good of air, wanted a little bit more speed to tack. Now the issue is, where's the ley line? Is the wind going to hold? I think I went a little bit high, but I wanted, because of the shifty wind, I wanted to be able to make sure I made the mark. 82 looks like he's going to be inside me, maybe. Yes, he just makes it, but he has to pinch up. I've got better speed because I did overstand a little bit, and I was able to sail over the top of him. So again, I'm in pretty good shape. I was lucky in that I was able to sail on the lifts. That's going to get me to the weather mark first. So that's our sail points races for today. I was trying to give you just kind of a stream of consciousness for the starts and the weather leg. I think that's the most important part of the race. If you can do that, I think the rest of the race comes together for you, and I think you finish pretty well. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the next sail points.